All right. Test for me now that you can see me and you can hear me. I had to do some configurations there, but I think everything is good now. So I'll look for you in chat to make sure everything is good. Players should be starting to get into the battlefield now, but it doesn't start for another 5 or 4 minutes or so. We're watching Season 4, Peak of Glory. This is the finals, and we're on Eagle Team, I believe, this time. So here are our players. I'm not sure if the ones that you're rooting for are necessarily in this one, but we'll be able to see both of them in action here. Okay, you can see me and you can hear me. Great. Side note, this is a pretty funny one. I was trying to do somebody's thief 5 minutes ago. Battlefield hadn't started. I can't even click on it. It says Battlefield is started. So I couldn't even help them out. All right, here we go. Oh, Battle of Constantinople. Nope, it's All Stars. Let's enter here and take a look. All right, there's still about 2.5 minutes before we are underway. And in that time, I'm just going to go over to where our team is set up at the moment. And I'll tell you some of the things that are unique about this stream. So first of all, if you've never been on the stream before, we have a little mini event that is going on. And what happens is anytime somebody's burning, anytime somebody's zeroed, their troops are gone, and I can see fire, I'm going to call out the roof is on fire. And the first, in this case, because it's the finals, the first 15 people to put their player ID into chat will get the streamer gift. But you can only get the streamer gift once for the entire All-Stars. So if you already got it from somebody else's stream, or you got it in the preliminaries or the semifinals, you can't get it now. But that's once per account. So if you have a friend or a family or an alliance member that you want to get this, then that works for me too. Just make sure that it's a player ID that does not already have the streamer gift. You'll get the streamer gifts about 7 days after this point. So I don't really know when they're going to do it, but hopefully it'll be relatively soon after. It's not a big gift, but it's fun to get anyway. If you see that like 20 people have already spammed their IDs, you don't have to continue spamming for 400 IDs. You'll get it when you get it, or you won't. Just wait for the next one, have your ID ready. Another thing is you'll notice in the, up here, right above my face, it says vote for your favorite streamer and get 900 gems. All you gotta do for that one is anybody gets it. It's not a competition. If you vote, you get it. It doesn't matter who you vote for, you just have to go and vote. So what you're going to want to do is go to the Facebook Evony the King's Return group and take a screenshot of the stream. So if you're going to vote for me here, take a screenshot of this stream, and then in the comment underneath the voting thing, you do Miser, and then you do your ID number, and then you do the screenshot of this thing, what you see here on the screen. And then you'll get your 900 gems from Evony. So between that and the streamer gift, it's like, I don't know, 1,300 gems, maybe. I'm not really sure exactly, but it's more than 0, right? So you might as well do it. It doesn't take too long. And if you are waiting for the beginning here and you've got a little time, then you could go ahead and vote early and get that out of the way so you don't miss any of the action. Players will start to teleport to their locations in about 5 seconds, so we'll start to see some action right away. The other event that we have is I didn't finish talking about it, right? I think I did. The roof is on fire. One little tip I have for that is there's a delay between the video and the chat. So the chat is instantaneous. When I type something into chat, it appears immediately. But what I say right now has a delay of about 10 to 15 seconds, and I'm happy that it does, because then I can, browse through chat and so on, and not have to worry too much about it interfering with anybody else's play. I could, of course, increase that delay too, but there's really no need for it right now, because 15 seconds is plenty of a delay. Most things would already happen at that point. Okay, so they are setting up over here next to the hospital and a portal. and you'll see that the other team is set up immediately next to them. And that's different from the semifinals that I did, where there was quite a distance, and that was unusual. Usually you go right next to the other team so that you don't have to waste teleports and you don't have to waste march speeds and so on to get your marches in. Already we have Pentangle setting up a rally. It looks like a rally and a fake. There's a lot of lines going in. Some people are starting to bounce because there's just a lot of people trying to get in right away. Another rally being set up over here by Pyro. I believe that's Pyro. And the first rally was over here on Golden. Golden is at 5.4 billion, so plenty of power left. The difference between the preliminaries and the semifinals and then now the finals is if you've made it to the finals, you want to place as high as you possibly can. And ideally, you do want to win. You don't have to worry so much about conserving healing speeds anymore because you've already qualified to the end. So you can go all out and not have to worry about not having enough for the next match. There is no next match. It's the All-Stars. This is the end. So we're going to see a lot more healing than we would see in some of the others. And some of the players that healed like crazy in the last match, I wonder if they still have the healing speeds because we saw some insane healing. KJ Casey setting up a rally here, and it's on NAS. You see a lot of reinforcements going in. About half of them made it on time, or actually a lot of them made it on time, but I believe that was a siege rally. So the reinforcements will serve as layers, but you'll still be able to do a significant amount of damage because it's just siege versus siege. So the reinforcements don't have as much of an effect as some of the other types of attacks. Ares over here setting up a rally, and the rally is landing on this person whose name I'm not going to try to butcher, but they're at 6.2 billion. We'll see how that changes after the rally is complete. 5.5, so that was about 700 power loss. I don't know if there were too many reinforcements that went into there, but it was a decent hit on part of Lion Team. Is the link closed or is it broken? Which link are we talking about here, Irene? Is it the Facebook group? Is that what we mean? All you gotta do is go to Facebook and go to the official Evony page, and it should be there as the first post. If you don't see it, maybe refresh because it might be in the last hour or so that they put that in. Quick look at the score. 5,000 to 6,250, and we can already see that some of the people that have taken those initial rallies have a good lead on points, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to stay there because there's a lot that will happen in this 1 hour and 50 minutes that is remaining. If you follow the link, it says the link is broken and takes you to news feed. That's interesting. And it's just the Evony the King's Return link that you're having a problem with. Let me just quickly try my own. It seems to work for me. It's possible that maybe you're not logged into Facebook. Or I guess possibly if you're on a mobile device, the link might be slightly different. I guess the easiest solution is just go into your Facebook and search for Evony King's Return page, and you'll find it there. Rally being set up by Mr. F is what I'll call him. Oh, looks like all these troops are returned. Yeah. I think they saw a lot of reinforcements going into Ares. They were probably planning to do a siege rally there, but more reinforcements went in than they were possibly expecting. Same kind of deal here with Pentangle. A lot of troops are being returned. Not sure what was happening. I missed that, but sometimes you might choose to be a little more conservative on the rallies if you see too much reinforcements going in. Some scouts over here on King Darius, who in the semifinals, if you were here with me, he got attacked. He got rallied like 10, 15, 20 times. It was ridiculous. So we'll see if that trend continues here. But I'm not certain that that would continue unless he's a very easy target. We'll see. I don't know. I did have a couple people that said they were going to be posting some reports as the game progresses, and hopefully we will see some more battle reports, and I'll be able to pick those apart for you. Is reinforcements in full layers march or limited? You would ideally reinforce with every single layer. And you would get as many people to reinforce as well. The more layers, the better. Okay, in this time, while we're waiting for some action to happen, it's a little bit slower of a start than in the semis or the preliminaries, and probably because it's the finals and they want to do it the right way. It's not just beat your head against the wall and hope you get points. You've already made it to the end, so you want to be very effective in your attacks. Some massive troop counts here, 160 million troops. That's a lot of upper tier troops. That is really good. Layers are pretty good too, all the way down. That's going to be a tough one to break. But what we're seeing a lot in these recent matches are the siege rallies, because when players get this high, it's really hard to kill all their troops. Where a lot of players right now are built up very, very well, so rallies against them with the limitation of rally size are not completely effective. So what people like to do these days is do a full siege rally, because the way that siege mechanics work is the siege will end up attacking the siege, and you'll be able to pick up a lot of power off of those players. So let's see what happened here with Never Been. It looks like that is exactly what happened. A siege rally on Never Been to wipe out those siege and get a pretty good return on the loss. Still no battle reports, unfortunately, to share, though. Here we're seeing a lot more lines. Is that an attack here? Yes, it was. All right. I should have clicked to see how that was working out, but I don't know. Or just mad. That player, anyway, was rallied and is down to 4.3 billion points. I'll take a look at the score. Golden M still at the top. Never Been is up there too after having just been rallied with siege. And I'll just go down a little bit to kind of show you the current score. It does look like there's over a 3,000 point lead for Lion Team, who is playing pretty aggressive so far. But of course, all these some interesting name changes here to confuse other players. Toot was a player that got rallied quite a bit, so I'm not sure if that's another member on the team trying to steal some of those rallies. Interesting. All right. I know there's a couple questions in chat, and I'll get to them when there is some downtime. But if I don't get to those questions, then I'm more than happy to stay a little bit after and answer any questions. Looks like we can see an alliance war forming. It's a siege rally. I'm lagging out quite a bit. Like, if I'm lagging out here as a spectator, I can only imagine the frustration some of these players must be feeling as they're trying to join rallies. So it was a siege rally on Sean Teddy. It's already gone through, and I'd love to see how that turned out. Hopefully we can start to get a few reports. Doesn't look like there's anything available yet. They're in a crunch right now, so can't blame them. It's pretty busy over here. This player was also rallied. There's a lot of fluctuation in the score so far, but the top couple people are holding pretty steady. All right, quick look at chat here. Looks like my camera went off. Let me fix that. That happens like once in a while. All right, let's see. Yeah, some people have very high archer attack buffs and other buffs as well. If you are being attacked, of course, you have the advantage of having your subs active, and you'll have debuffs that are applying. Oh, let's take a quick look at Zero before he gets hit. 7.7 and down to 7.3, so 400 million loss for that player. You will have debuffs that are applied, and the debuffs can only go up to half of the offensive player's attack. So if somebody has 1200 archer attack, for example, then your debuffs can go as high as 600 debuff, but 600% is still a pretty good end result. Your archers are still doing quite a bit of damage at 600%. So the higher you can get that, the more effective your troops will be. And especially more so against players that have very poor debuffs. But I would not expect to see a whole lot of players in this All-Stars that have very poor debuffs. That would be unusual. They're here for a reason, most of them. A lot of lines going into Zero, but they're returning, so that possibly was a fake rally on line team's part, and then they realized that was not a real one, so they returned. Something over here being set up by Ares. I saw a quick scout in this direction. I'm just going to have my screen ready so we can see if there's any power loss. A lot of lines went in. What happened? Here we go. Okay. They might have set up a fake, and here's the real one. People are speeding in very quickly for this one. This is the real one, and it's on MUC, who's at 8.6 down to, let's find out, 8.6 down to 8.2. So you got to keep in mind that when you have that much power, it's really hard to hit really hard and do a great job, especially with reinforcements in there. And that's why you're seeing a lot of siege rallies now. If you can break down those upper siege, then it makes them a lot, it makes even the higher power players more vulnerable. It's really hard to defend effectively with siege because, you're going to lose siege. It can only get buffed so far. All right, you want to see battle reports. Let me see if there is anything. I've got one there. That's nice. And I got one here. I know iCandy was somebody that was going to share some reports, so we can take off from the main action right now and just take a look at some reports. My game is lagging out a little bit, though. It's pretty... It's not my computer lagging out. This is the Evony server. There's just a lot of players in this battlefield, and it can't keep up. So it's tough to see reports here. I clicked on it like 15-20 seconds ago. Still waiting. Let's see. Man, it just doesn't want to go. Let's try again. Load. All right, here we go. So this is an alliance war, so it's a rally with a complete rally, and it was on Sean Teddy. That was earlier that we saw that, and there's a lot of reinforcements in there. But because this was a siege rally, and the way that siege mechanics work, your siege will attack other siege. So there's very limited layers that they have to work through. And even if there's a ton of reinforcements like there are here, your siege rallies are still going to be quite effective. And take a look at that, 700 million power loss. So it was net positive in this case, and that did work out pretty good. Take a look down at this defense. Let's see what this one looks like. This is the one on MUC, and Ares set that one up. They lost 650 million power. Ares lost 425. So not quite as effective, but it did work out pretty okay, because you're really working on getting those troops down, those initial troops, and it's hard to do. This was actually an archer attack, an archer rally. They were trying to pick out some of the cavalry, and they did all right, considering that MUC he's got no shortage of troops right now, so he did all right. I'm going to take a quick look at the score because I'm sure there a little bit of action did happen while we were looking through those battle reports. Still about a 3,000 point lead for Lion Team, and as we scroll down the points, we see some fluctuation in the top 5. Never Been has dropped down to 5th place from 2nd, and I'll just go down to the first 15 or so, so we can kind of see where people are at now. Okay. This is about 15-20 minutes into the match so far, and it's not a huge amount of points that have been taken or scored by any player so far. It is slower, but I have a feeling that that will change towards the end. A lot of scouts going out. Everybody's looking for the ideal target. But it's not easy to do with these finals here. A lot of the siege rallies have already happened to get as many points as possible. Here's a looks like there's a archer poke right here, trying to get some JT's cav. And over here as well on Never Been. Not sure who's doing that. Docs. Okay. I'm going to take a quick look at chat to see what you guys have to say. Are Siege weaker than Ground? Siege, for the most part, have the worst stats of any troop type, and that's because they have the added bonus of range. They can shoot from so far away, but their stats to begin with before you apply buffs are not that impressive. But their mechanic is very funny, so it does allow you to do some interesting things. A while back, there were tier 1 siege attacks that you would do, and you'd be able to pick off the opponent's siege, and Evony actually had to change that. And the way they did so is they modified the range of the first, I think, 10 tiers of siege troops. They used to all be the same, and then they modified it so that couldn't happen quite as effectively anymore. But siege are still pretty interesting units. Not a whole lot happening right now. I see some lines going here and there, some shared reinforcements. I'm not really sure, but not a whole lot. It's pretty quiet right now. Take a quick look at the map. It looks like pretty much every building that is that they'd really want to be using for the battle, like the towers or the rally hall or that kind of thing. It's all contested. Quick rally over here on Lord Drago. It's a very fast one. He's at 6.5 billion after that. Some return troops here. That must have been a fake that Ares had set up as well. I'll take a quick look in the battlefield chat, see if there's anything new that we can look at. There's a defense on Mask. I'm not sure if this is the one that we already saw. This is Lord Drago. Okay. That was a decent defense. They were able to get 4.5 million reinforcements in, and I'm sure that did help quite a bit. And that was, again, what we've been seeing a lot of, siege attacks. And what I was talking about before to some people that were asking about debuffs, you can see for example, on this from the main lead rally, 1019 attack, and you'll see that is pretty much fully debuffed. I mean, that is fully debuffed by this player. Another one over here, Lord Drago is sharing this one. It's probably, yeah, it's the same battle, just from his perspective. So that did go okay for him, but it is tough to easily lose siege, right? Like if you got attacked by anything else, you might only lose a couple hundred million, but losing 500, 600 million points as somebody that is in the upper billions, I mean, that's unusual, and that's why they're doing all these siege attacks these days. quick look at chat again. The max debuff someone can get is only limited by the actual gear. So that depends on what type, and it's limited by, I mean, you can only debuff exactly 50% of the attack going against you. So those are your limitations. Other than that, you can get as high as you want. There were a bunch of rallies set up here, one probably a couple fakes, and then the real one, but it looks like they were all canceled. Too many reinforcements went into, I'm guessing, DJ here, because there's a lot of lines coming back. Some scouts going around to try to pick another target, but they're going to have to be a little faster than that. The reinforcements that these players are able to do are very quick. So if you're not fast enough in launching those rallies, you're going to see a bunch of lines going in, and the more reinforcements in there, the tougher it is to end up net positive. Ares setting something up over here, and they have launched. It is on DJ again, same target. You can see that was like 4 or 5 lines. I don't know if they followed through yet. Okay. And DJ is at 11.4, so not a huge loss for DJ. Let's take a look at the scores right now. Just going to scroll down. It's very even. Unlike in the semifinals, they are not committing to just go after the same target again and again. They're trying to spread out those points, and that's a pretty good idea, because whereas in the semifinals and the preliminaries, all you had to do was get to the next level, your points don't actually matter as long as you qualify. Here they actually matter. We don't want to inflate anybody too much that they're going to come into first place and things are going to be out of control. So you're not going to see people like, for example, King Darius, who took like 15 rallies. It's not going to happen, because then he's going to win, right? So they're going to try to spread things out so that the most effective players are going to come out at the top. That's probably what's going to happen. And I'm guessing that that's why some of the players that typically, like Love Letter here, that would normally in a normal match would just be sitting here behind the team and wanting to get rallied, Love Letter decided not to do that today, because I don't think that would actually happen. Eagle Team wouldn't take the bite because they have to compete against Love Letter. Okay, where are we at here? Let me take a look into chat. We do have some reports. I love that they're sharing a lot more now. That is awesome. So let's take a look here at this defense. This is DJ's defense that we saw earlier. Not too bad, but of course, when you're 11.8 billion, you know, it's unusual to lose 500 million like that, and that's just because of Siege, especially with all those. That's 7 million reinforcements. If that was any kind of attack other than Siege, they would not have taken 500 million points, especially with 7 million reinforcements. But Siege is very effective against those bigger players. All right, something over here is happening. It looks like there is a rally on Lin. It probably already happened, but let's see. Lin's over here. There was an alliance war, but it doesn't look like they followed through on that. Yeah, that's a minute later, so no, they didn't follow through on that. But it looks like it's possible. No, I think some of these are ghosts. I think King Darius is, for example, here is doing some ghosting to hide those weak cavalry that we saw in the semifinals that were getting picked off again and again. A couple lines going into Darius. He is getting attacked. He's at 6.3, but he did ghost those cavalry. I think he was expecting to be attacked. Is it processing or what is happening here? Yeah, there we go. So it's 6.3 down to 5.7. Still 600 million power loss with all those reinforcements in there. I wonder what kind of attack that was. I didn't see the generals returning, so it's tough to tell. But maybe we'll be able to see a report of that. I'd like to see how that turned out. Guess not. All right. Take a look back here. My camera is frozen again. Man, this thing is bothering me. I'm going to try a different USB port. Hopefully it should be good now. That usually happens like once every other day, but it's happening a lot these days. You don't understand the spreading points part, Hope Shady. Okay, so what I mean is, like, let's say Eagle Team, for example. If Eagle Team decided to attack Toot, and this is fake Toot, but let's say Eagle Team decided to hit this player repeatedly because that player is a weaker target. This is the finals. So if this player is repeatedly hit, their score is going to go up. Even if they're not the greatest player, all they have to do is keep healing. Their score is going to go up to 10,000. Everybody else is going to be many, many thousand behind. And when you're trying to, everybody wants to get to first place, but if Toot has such a big advantage by having so many opportunities to defend, that makes it really hard for everybody else. So they're trying to spread their attacks on many different targets so as not to inflate anybody in particular. And that makes it so that later on in the match, when they try to get their points up themselves, and they try to increase their own points, they'll be able to, because there won't be anybody that is too high, that is uncatchable. And this player was just attacked right now by Eagle Team. It is a very slow match. They are picking their targets very carefully, and that's why we're seeing those safe siege attacks, because the reinforcements don't matter as much. But things will start to change very soon as those siege are worn thin. You can't attack. You can't do siege attacks if there are no siege to kill. So we're going to start to see some changes in the play style in the next 20 minutes or so. Just a couple of reminders about some of the events while things are quiet over here. First thing is, if you have not been to the stream before, I do the roof is on fire event. So whenever somebody gets zeroed, I say the roof is on fire, and the first 15 people that put their player ID that have not already received the package will get a small streamer package from Evony after the All-Stars concludes. And that player was just rallied. Again, siege rally, it looks like. I think so. The other event is there is a voting for your favorite streamer event. So all you would have to do for that is go to the Evony King's Return Facebook page. The most recent post talks about this whole thing. And what you're going to want to do is take a screenshot of the stream. You can do that on your phone, your computer, whatever you're watching from. Take a screenshot or take a picture if you got it on the TV, and you're going to go and post that in the comments section of that Facebook post. But you need to follow the protocol. There's a specific way you need to comment, and I have it listed over right above my head here. You would put Miser, and then you would put your player ID, and then you would put the screenshot of the stream to show that you were actually watching. And that gives you 900 gems. So Evony will send everyone who does that 900 gems. It's not a competition. If you do it, you'll get 900 gems. And you'll get that for every account. So just if you have friends or family that you're doing it for, you could take a different screenshot, put their player ID, and I suppose that would work too. A lot of lines coming out of Mr. F here. I don't know if those were reinforcements or a rally. But yeah. Oh, a lot of lines coming in here. I think that's another rally being set up. Was it sent? It's an archer rally. I don't know if it was sent or if it was returned. The line kind of disappeared there. I think they might have recalled that. They saw a lot of ground. I even saw there was like 5 or 6 ground lines that were going in there, and they were sending an archer rally, which is bad news. So I think they did recall that, and they just returned everybody's troops. Yeah, that's not something you want to land, not with that many reinforcements that counter you. Instead, they hit BO. BO is 8.2 billion after the attack. A quick look at the score shows us at 23,000 to 26,000. We have a couple other players that have pulled into the lead. Some changes, but still, I'm pretty confident about that. I don't think we're going to see too many attacks on this player anymore. Who was that Archer rally that was canceled right here? There might be another one or two, but I don't think they're going to repeatedly attack any single player too much. That wouldn't work out too well because they're going to get a lot of points. So we're going to see things being spread right here. Golden is doing a solo attack on Toot. One thing that I want to be watchful of here as much as possible, and I'm not going to comment too much on it, is in the preliminaries, the qualifiers, the semifinals, there's a lot of, point trading and cheating in different ways. I'm not saying specifically that those players are, but when you see things like that, solo attacks, they're not usually for actually trying to gain points. They're trades. And there was a couple of people that were kicked out from the preliminaries, I believe. But I know there were a lot of other people under investigation, and it's pretty tough to actually follow through on all that but when there's only like 1 day in between. So hopefully we won't see too much of that. That's my hope. I'd like everybody to play fairly and to have a very good match. But we will keep an eye on that, and I'll try to highlight that if we do see anything that seems a little suspicious. Pentangle over here setting up a rally. We're going to find out who the target is any moment now. Looks like it's easy. It's a siege rally. And easy is down to 7.4. Hopefully we see a couple... Nope, no reports here. All right, I'm going to take a quick look through chat as I scroll down the point score. So take a look at any players that you're looking for, that you're cheering for, and you can kind of see where they're at after the first 40 minutes. All right, let's take a look back over here. Still don't see a whole lot of lines. It's very, very quiet All-Stars finals right now. All right, something happening over here. Lynn, a lot of lines going in. Lynn hasn't usually been a rallier, so it could be possible that that is something that is being set. That's an attack. But it was a fake, and the real attack was over here on Bucko. Yeah, all those lines, that was a good fake. They really got them there. They thought it was going to be Lynn, and you see how many lines went in. It was that convincing, but there was a really quick rally instead that went on Bucko. Bucko's down to 6.4, and is this another rally? Another quick one on Pyro's Sheep? No, that's just a solo attack. All right, over here we have a lot of lines coming into Styles. That could be the recipient of this rally, Lucky Styles. But there's a lot of lines going in, so I don't think that's happening. Instead, Easy is getting attacked. And line team, okay, it looks like Mad was also attacked over here. So we have two people that were attacked simultaneously. Easy's down 6.4, and Mad is over here at 3.3. Ooh, that's getting low, Mad. I wonder if she or he is getting mad. I don't know. That was pretty lame. All right, Mad, where are you at in terms of points? 3.3 billion power left. I hope you have a high score, but it doesn't seem like it. Or did I already pass you? There we go. Third place. Okay. 2.6 and only 3.3 billion left. Yeah, I have a feeling that Matt is going to do some healing to try to get up. Yeah, there we go. Up to 4 billion again. Is kind of a necessity there. Speaking of healing, let's see if anybody actually has any of these buildings. Nobody. Oh, the red team has quite a few. Line team has the battlefield hospital, which is nice because they've only had it for a minute, but healing speed increased by 60%. That's very nice. So that's a really good time for Mad to do some healing. And I also saw, oh yes, 2 of the towers. That is going to be huge. The tower over here, of course, offering attack and defense by 20%. You got 2 of them. So that is a fantastic look for the Lion team. Lion team does have still a pretty okay lead on Eagle team. So the added advantage of having the attack and defense is definitely going to be favoring the Lion team here. And they've already got a bit of a lead. Usually you want to keep those buildings contested. If nobody takes it, it's fine. It's even play. But if you let the enemy have 2 blessing towers, that's not too much fun to defend against. Looks like there was a lot of lines coming in here. That was a potential target. But I don't see anything that actually went through. So I think those were either canceled or not really sure what happened here. This player had already been hit a bunch of times so far. I don't think that they were hit either. Why are there so many lines coming to Styles? Very interesting. There was a rally over here on Muha, who's down to 3.2 billion. One thing that could potentially happen in a team is it's players from everywhere, right? There's players from all kinds of different servers, all kinds of different alliances with different ideologies, and a lot of them have friction. So you might see some players that just don't want to play with the team. And I think in the third All-Stars, I did see a lot of players that every time somebody would reinforce, they would try to send those troops back because they didn't want anyone to get points through reinforcing. They wanted to get all the points themselves. And it could be that that's what's happening there, that some players want to play completely individually. They want the other team to know that they have no reinforcements, and they're just comfortable getting rallied and heal and rally and heal and getting points that way. And that's the way it's set up right now. And I've talked plenty about the structure of the All-Stars and that there's needing to be some changes, but I think we all know that. So here we go. Aries setting up a rally, and it looks like a lot of people did bounce, so that it filled pretty quickly, and it's on Sigu. Sigu at 5.5. Let's see after the rally lands and processes. That's low. Maybe there's actually no rally. Did it get recalled from all those? Yeah, nothing's happening here. I think they recalled that and they didn't let it land. He's still at 5.5. There's no lines returning. So I think they saw those reinforcements go and they turned the boat around. Yeah, they don't get as many as you do. But at the same time, one, it makes you less appealing as a target, and it depends. I mean, there are times that reinforcements can get a significant amount of the points, depending on what troops you have left. But if you're fully healed, they're not going to do that much. But that being said, some of those players don't want you to get any points at all. So I don't know. It's weird, but I have seen it quite a bit. Okay, let's take a look at some reports. Hopefully there's a couple here. I don't know how old these are. These are probably pretty new. Got Easy over here that was attacked 5 minutes ago. And, ooh, that was, I mean, it was an even trade, but that's a lot to lose in one attack. And it was an archer. Okay, they were wiping out his cavalry. Yeah, I mean, if we go, I would normally love to go battle details and go down and take a look at what troops are lost. I can just tell you it's his cavalry. All right, I don't need to do that because it'll take me 5 minutes to scroll down there, and that's 5 minutes that I'll never get back. Let's take a look at something else. Mask over here was also attacked. That was just a solo attack, it looks like. Oh, heavily reinforced. So what was the purpose here? I guess it was just to poke at the siege. So it was a net loss, especially with all those reinforcements, but I don't know. Somebody just trying to test something, I guess. We'll take a look at the scores. Muha was rallied recently and is up to 4.6. Scores changing. So what is happening here? Where is Muha? Muha-ha-ha. Where are you? Let me see if I can go through here. Muhaha, where are you? Looks like Muhaha had it ported over here to the back. Istian is talking about that whoever's streaming is showing our chat. I guess whoever said that doesn't realize there's like a 15-20 second delay. So anything that we are seeing in chat has already happened. And that's one thing that people don't realize. This is not like live time. Like here, I'll put something, I'll say right now, test, and I'm going to type it here. So test. And it's probably about 10 seconds. I actually typed it a little slow, so it should add a couple seconds to that. Yeah, there. So it is about 10-15 seconds for me to see somebody say test received. So when a rally is being set, and if it takes 15 seconds, and then there's still the whole communication, watching a stream, 20-ish seconds, this stuff has already happened. So I know that some people obviously are worried about, like the enemies watching the stream and they're getting secret info. But if their info is 20-30 seconds old, it's already happened. It's already happened. You're not getting anything out of that. And if you're relying on that, then good luck to you. All right. I am going to continue going through. Scores, it looks like still line team has a 3,000 point lead. It's been pretty consistent the whole time through. We'll take a quick look at the map. Doesn't look like too much stuff is happening, but it does look like the Eagle team decided to contest these two towers. They didn't like that those free buffs were held by the Lion team, which makes sense. A lot of lines going into Styles. Looks like there was a rally on this player who has been hit quite a few times already. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, Apollo. Who can really watch a stream and play at the same time, especially with all this lag, and then somehow get an advantage when things happen 20 seconds later? I don't know. That's it's not going to happen. But it's just a misunderstanding. I mean, I totally understand what the players themselves are thinking. They don't want anyone to have an advantage, but there is no advantage. And I could increase the delay on my stream even more. It's currently 20 seconds. I could increase it to 5 minutes, but I don't think there's really a difference between 20 seconds and 5 minutes. 20 seconds in Evony is a lifetime. Yeah. Some lines going in here to Pentangle. I don't know who the target is here. A lot going into KJKC2. This is probably a rally being set up. All right, here, King Darius was attacked. And King Darius is at 5.3. And meanwhile, the target of Eagle Team, I think they canceled it. I didn't see any attack actually happen there. Okay, some people are requesting scores, so I'm going to go down as I check out chat. Yes, this is Continent 1 Eagle Team stream. We're almost at 1 hour into the match. And it does look like Line Team is pulling away a bit. It was a 3,000 point lead. Now it's closer to 5,000. Take a quick look at a scout that was shared here. Muhaha, who was hit a few times earlier that we did see. Looks like cavalry for the most part are gone, and they did work down the siege. I see no tier 14 siege left. Tier 13 is down to smaller numbers. So it is pretty much what we've been seeing for the entire time. Take out those siege, take out some cavalry. Those are the easier pick-offs. And then you can work off somebody else as well. You can work out the rest of the troops as well. A lot of lines happening over here. I'm not sure if that was a rally. Looks like they were possibly setting something up, but it didn't follow through. There is a lot of downtime right now, and I'm not sure why it's so quiet today. But I think it's just that they're being very cautious of hitting targets and having rallies that are very one-sided, and a little too much point gain for any one player is not ideal. I'll take another second here to talk about some of the events. So if somebody does get zeroed, I'll say the roof is on fire, and I'll also type it in chat. The chat will appear about like 10-15 seconds earlier. So make sure you're watching chat when it gets down to the point where people are possibly going to get zeroed. That usually happens around 40-50 minutes left. So in the next 15 minutes, we'll probably see one, maybe. Maybe a little bit after that too. And what else? The voting for the streamer thing. If you want to vote for your favorite streamer, you can do that on the Evony Facebook page. You take a screenshot of the stream, and you just follow my little guide right above my head for the comment format. So you'd put Miser, your ID number, and the screenshot, and you'll get 900 gems or something just for voting. So everybody can get that. Power. Power is really easy to accumulate if you never get hit. And I really don't PvP a whole lot. I don't. I've participated, I think, in like 2 server versus servers, and very lightly. I do all of my PvP in battlefields, so I never lose anything, and I just keep growing. And my account is as old as the game itself, so it has been on. It has been around for quite a while, and I don't think I've dropped a bubble since the beginning. I think once I have, but I was only like 100 million at that point. So it's just been growth, 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 and really nothing lost. Yeah, the power really starts to grow as well when you get to the point where you're able to do all of the consumption. You're going to grow by 100, 200 million every single time. When you get to that point, it's slower up to there. Mad was just attacked, and Mad is down to 3.2. I think we saw Mad attacked earlier, down to 3.3, and then healed to 4, back down to 3.2. I don't know what Mad's score was. Mad was in 3rd and dropped and is now back in 3rd again. So pretty good for Mad so far, considering the amount of rallies on there. It's been okay. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, troops are 95% of your power, exactly like Apollo says. And bubble is the. I mean, if you don't bubble and if you lapse even once, you can lose everything, and that's really how this game plays out. Even myself, if I lose, if I forget to bubble one day, I could lose everything. And I have very good practice with my bubble, and I'm very good at keeping it up, so it's never happened, but it's not impossible. There have been people much bigger than me that dropped down to completely zeroed, so you just got to be really good with your bubble game. A lot of lines returning from Eye Candy. I don't know if that was a rally or if it looks like it was some fakes, or else something got canceled. Nothing much to share there. Okay, there was a rally on, excuse me, on Ares. Ares is down to 7.7 billion. I think that's the 3rd rally on Ares. Ares pulled up to 3rd place. I see Mad porting around back and forth here. I'm not really sure what the purpose of that was. It doesn't look like Mad was dodging anything, and one tile over wouldn't really make that happen anyway. So it could be, I'm not really sure. That was interesting. I don't really have an answer for that. They're still deciding who they're going to attack. Take a quick look over here at the map again. Oh, it looks like Line Team did manage to take the towers, take both the towers, take the the rally hall as well. That gives you a 15% rally capacity increase. That's not great for the Eagle team. They're just letting them have those buildings, and you don't want to let the other team just have things for free. It doesn't take too much for somebody to quickly take that back, but everyone's really busy with what's going on. They're probably having all kinds of conversations in their line voice call right now, and yeah, I guess they haven't noticed that, or they don't think it's important enough right now to focus on. Instead, we have a bunch of lines going into eye candy. Oh, it's reinforcements for this attack right here. Eye candy's at 6.8. And then after the rally, let's see. 6.8 down to 5.7. That was a massive hit. That was really well done on the part of line team. Interesting. That's some serious power loss. Hopefully Eye Candy was able to pull out a few points from that too. But Eye Candy's pretty far down here at the moment. I think that was the first rally on Eye Candy. I could be wrong though. Where are you, Eye Candy? I'm probably just like skipping. Okay, here we go. 18th. 2,000 points. So that's probably like, yeah, it's probably the first rally, and most of the rest was offensive work. Was that a solo attack on Styles? A lot of lines went in. I'm not really sure what happened there. Missed that. And here is their rally. So this is the rally that Eye Candy put out before she was attacked. And that is 900 million power loss for Trail Dog, which is a pretty nice little tap. There's still 4.5 million reinforcements, but still they were able to do quite a lot of damage with their siege rally here. Take a quick look at the score since things are pretty quiet. Ethereum. I did not see Ethereum. We must have missed that one. 6,000 points. We're in first place right now at the moment. And I will scroll down while I take a look at chat. Yeah, Siege Attack is one of the easiest to have debuffs on. But keeping in mind that Siege doesn't have a huge base number to begin with, the percentage increases don't really matter quite as much as the rest of them. So debuffing Siege percentages, Siege is one of the units where it possibly would be better in a lot of cases to go with whole number increases, just because the percentages aren't that great. But then again, that really depends on whether we're talking about offensively or defensively. Defensively, probably whole numbers, but offensively, you're going to want those percentage increases. Okay, let's take a look here. Sigu was attacked and is down to 4.1 billion. I know somebody was wanting to see Sigu score quite a bit. Sigu has moved up to 9th place. Okay, and this is an attack on Trail Dog. So this is another one that they pulled off. This is even nicer than the last one. The last one was about 850 that they had on Trail Dog. That was a siege rally, and here they did another siege rally. There was 1 million or one full march less reinforcements than there was last time, and they took pretty much 1 billion power away from that rally. That's nice. I still think nobody's in severe danger of being zeroed. It's going to be a while before we see something. We have some players that are down to 3 billion or so and haven't healed too much since then. Got this player down to 2.8, but nobody's in the danger zone yet. 3 billion is still a couple rallies away from being finished off. A lot of lines coming into styles. Are we seeing a rally being set? Let's find out. A lot of lines over here on half-ton dad. I wonder if that was going to be the target or if it was a fake. I see something happening there, but that one looks like a possible solo. I don't think that is a rally because they did not speed that up at all. That might just, yeah, that was a solo attack. Whatever was happening over here in styles, it got canceled. It probably was on half-ton dad, and then they saw too many reinforcements, so they changed their mind. You are starting to see some players on the line team move to the back. I know Lynn did this last time in All-Stars 3, just like Love Letter did quite a bit. And moving to the back, although it's not teamwork, it does seem to be pretty effective because it does make you an easier target and people want to hit you. But it is very costly as well because you're going to take a lot of damage, you're going to have to heal quite a bit. And whether they're going to choose to give you those points is really up to the opponents. They might to an extent, but we'll find out. Is there anyone on the Eagle team doing the same? I don't believe so. Nope, it's just the other team that is doing that. It looks like Fake Toot, I think Fake Toot, I'm not sure which one's the real one, is down to 3 billion. And where's the real Toot? Here's the real Toot. 7.3, or is it backwards? I don't know which one's fake, which one's real. Maybe we'll just go with Toot 1, Toot 2. A lot of lines coming into Ginster. I think people are trying to reinforce. And Mr. F over here being rallied. 4.1 billion. That might have just been some ghosting, I think. He was getting rallied, and he decided to ghost on Ginster to hide some of his weaker cavalry, possibly, because I think that was an archer rally that was happening on him. He didn't want to give up the cavalry quite yet. And seeing that, Lion Team decided to send some reinforcements to Ginster, even though it wasn't a real rally. Just precautionary there, trying to get some points. A lot of lines coming to Styles. And I don't know where... Oh, they went over here on Half-Ton Dad. Not sure if that was a rally. Let's take a look. 3.4 billion. No, it was over here on Ethereum. Ethereum was in first place not too long ago. And they're still attacking Ethereum, who has now moved up to 7.5 thousand points. That's quite the lead right now. Ethereum, though, is down to 2.4 billion. So probably without healing will not score too many more points, maybe not beyond 10,000. And maybe that's what they're kind of counting on, that Ethereum won't continue to heal. But on the other hand, if Ethereum does decide to heal quite a bit, that is a good stretch of points. It's pretty high placement already at that point. We'll take a quick look at the score. Looks like Line Team has a significant lead at this point. It's just growing and growing. It was 3,000 points for the longest time, and now they're pretty much over 7,000 points in the lead. That is getting quite higher. But I think at this point, the team score doesn't matter so much as your individual score, because it's not about moving forward into the next match. This is the last one, so people are more concerned with their individual points rather than their team winning or losing. All right, a bunch of lines over here. Looks like Toot was finally attacked. This is Toot number 1, and 6.5 billion point power still remaining on Toot. Only a few reinforcements. Looks like 2 or 3 lines coming back. So it might have done quite a good amount of damage. We'll see if there's anything here. We do have a few reports that we can share. Attacks lost. This is on Toot. Yeah, 800 million. It went about as I expected here. Not too many reinforcements in there, but it was a siege rally, so they were able. It wouldn't have mattered. Too many reinforcements wouldn't have made a huge difference. Still would have done quite a bit of damage. 800 million worth of siege. That's a good chunk to take off. Let me take a quick look over here at Kermit. Kermit shared one here, and that was on Ethereum from a while back. Full rally versus 7 million reinforcements. It did turn out pretty well. 730 million power taken away, and again, siege machine attacks. So you're just continuing to see the same thing. Siege attack, because these players are just that big, right? They're that big. That's the easiest way to take power from them at the moment. Otherwise, you're feeding them points. When those siege are all gone and people get tired of healing up their siege, then they might have to switch to something else. And we'll start to see some changes in the patterns of players in that case, when that does eventually start to happen. Or when people start to run out of siege themselves from doing attacks. Still the same people in the top 5 for the most part. High score at 7-7. Just going to look at the top 10 real quick. Pretty big stretch. Almost 8,000 points, and then in 11th place is 3,000. So there is a significant gap between those players right now in 1st and 11th place. Let's take a look at the map. It does look like Eagle Team decided to take those towers back. So Eagle Team over here is sitting with control of one of the towers, and they've had it for 7 minutes uncontested. They do have the rally hall. That gives them an extra 15% increase. Whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing. 15% increase in their rallies. They've only had that for a short time, but they do have that now. And this one will probably be capped pretty soon. In under 2 minutes, that will be a nice increase as well. And yeah, so those are some important buildings that they have taken, and they didn't want Line Team to have those any longer. It is pretty quiet at the moment as people are choosing their targets. Yeah, I have some people in chat talking about siege on defense, and I have seen some very important comments that people have made. You want to make sure that you do have your range book, your siege range book. You want to have your siege ring, and make sure that you have the maximum range for all your siege. Otherwise, you're extremely vulnerable, especially with siege being such a highly used unit right now in Battlefield. You definitely want to make sure you have the max range. Otherwise, anything that happens on you, they're going to get their first attacks off on your units before you even get the hit. You want to have that range to at least match them. So Ginster over here was rallied, is down to 3.1 billion. And that's one of the players that is just sneaking over to the back of the team, hoping to get rallied, and it looks like they did do an attack over there. And there were a few reinforcements that got in. but it's hard to reinforce someone that is all the way on the other side of the team. Bunch of lines coming into styles and being returned. So that might have been a canceled rally here again. Oh, something landed over here on Aries. Aries down to 6.4 billion. And Aries, I believe, was in 5th place, has moved up to 4th at 5,000 points. Got some shared battle reports that we can take a quick look at. Ooh, that's a nice one. Almost 1 billion power taken away, and this is, again, another siege attack. Yep, and he had, yeah, that worked out pretty well. 1 billion power, how many reinforcements? 2.5 million reinforcements, so it looks like just 2 marches, possibly, 2 standard marches. Yeah, so that worked out pretty well. 1 billion power taken away from Ares, and that's a tough thing to do, to take all that much power from these large players. You can really only accomplish that at the beginning with Siege. They have, for example, if you look at Ares, if you try to do an archer attack on Ares, the thing that you'd be struggling with is 720 HP for mounted troops, and he can change that. He can increase that if he needs to, change his monarchy around, but he didn't need to at the moment. So 720 HP for mounted means that you will take quite a bit on an archer rally. You'll take a lot of the mounted, but not as much as somebody that has a couple hundred less HP. And usually you hope that cavalry is going to be easier than that. And oh look, I'm going to stop talking here because there was another rally on Ares. He's down to 5.9. He was at 6.6, I want to say. And so that takes him down another 600 or 700 million power. I can't remember exactly what he was at. There's some lines over here on Mr. F. I think those were from a fake that they are just returning. See if we can take a look at the siege rally. I'm guessing that they did again another 1 billion points. That's a nice one. No, that was a range troop. So they had enough of his siege. They decided that they had picked off his siege quite enough, and with fewer siege, they don't have to worry so much about their archers, because after what I find, I don't know if it's necessarily correct, but siege tend to kill siege, and then when they're done with it, they'll pick a higher priority unit that has higher range, like archers. But if you can get rid of those siege, then your archers are able to do quite a bit of damage against that cavalry march. So they were able to take 1 billion power off of Ares, largely cavalry power there. A lot of the line team are splitting up. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just all over the place. 5. Half of their team, I mean, it looks like half of their team is away from the actual pod. Not necessarily half, but pretty close. They're just moving into the back. Here's more. They're tired of waiting in their group. They're not getting enough individual points, so they're starting to move in to try to score additional points to get rallies off of them. The top 5 are all Lion team, and they're doing great, but that's because these ones are getting rallied. So some of the other ones that have moved to the back, they want attention too. They want to be rallied, so they're moving closer, hopefully setting themselves up as easier targets for Eagle team to rally. At least that's what appears to be happening. Whether Eagle team takes that bait and they want to actually attack those players is, that's another story. That's up to Eagle team. Take a quick look at the map. It looks like Eagle team has 1 tower. Lion team decided to take 1 back, but they do still have the rally hall. But since they are doing the majority of the rallies right now, line team is all split up, then it does make sense for a line team to focus more on what they're doing, I guess. They're playing a little more individually. Love Letter over here attacking KJ Casey. Interesting. Okay. Bunch of lines coming into Styles. And it looks like it's an attack over here on this player, who's at 5.2 billion. And we'll see what the power loss is after these troops return. Or maybe not. Sometimes these lines are just disappearing. I don't know what happened there. What happened? Okay, moving on. They must have recalled it, and I didn't see the return. Let's take a quick look at some of the troop counts of some players right now at the, what are we at? We have 45 minutes left, somewhere around there. Still 100 million troops left, but this player has no siege left, which is not to be, no tier 14 siege, very little tier 13 siege, almost nothing. This is just like somebody that lost all their siege and decided to heal up their layers so that they at least have something. So there's no siege left. And when there's no siege left, this player can now be attacked. I mean, they could before, but they can now more easily be attacked, for example, with an archer rally, take out some cavalry, and then work on the other troops. Was that 17 million cavalry? Wait, I gotta see that again. 17 million? How did I miss that? If that is wow. 17.5 million T14 cavalry. Yeah, so at this point, the siege are gone. You can't hide that many cavalry. Let's take a look at the cavalry buffs. Oh, you can't really tell so much in a scout report. I guess we won't be able to find out unless we see an actual attack, but depending on the actual buffs there, that's a lot of power loss potentially from an archer rally, but then you'd have to have very few reinforcements that would counter those archers. So we'll see. That's a lot of cavalry. What do you need that many cavalry for? Like, honestly, I don't even know what I would do with that many cavalry. I stopped building cavalry because I just have too much. I wouldn't want any more. That's just too much easy power to lose. But I don't know. We'll see. Let me take a quick look at chat. And while I'm doing that, let me just take a look at some of these scores. Has been attacked, and I think NAS was attacked as well. So let's see if scores have changed a bit. Ares moved up to second. Ethereum still in first. $17 million just for killing boss 15s. That still seems just a little excessive. All right, some lines coming away from zero. He was probably just rallied. He's at 6.7 billion right now. Has he moved up? Let's see. I don't really know where he was before. Zero's right here in 26, so only at 2.6 thousand points. A lot of lines coming into DJ. I don't know if that's a rally. A lot of lines going in. Why are there so many lines going in? It doesn't seem like it's a rally. So, or maybe it was. Maybe it was on this crazy Bureau. and we just didn't see the line because they're so close in proximity. 6.7 billion power. Yeah, it looks like Eagle Team is doing pretty much all of the offensive work for the most part. Line Team is putting in a few rallies, but they have a lot of players that are just all over the place, and it's probably I'm guessing if it was my team, I'd be a little upset that there are so many people that are just moving around on their own and not really participating. But I don't know. We're not in that chat. Sigu was 11th. Okay. Quick look at the map. Let's see. One tower taken. Still the rally hall. How long have they had these buildings? Just uncontested. This one they've had for 10 minutes. This one they've had for longer, like 15? 20 minutes they've just had this tower. That's 20 attack and defense. Just practically a permanent buff that they're just allowing them to keep. Golden is sharing a defense. That's the one that we saw a little bit earlier. Oh, that's actually just a solo attack. Not a very successful one, I would say. Yeah, that did not work out too well. I guess they were trying to get a little bit of cavalry, but there's some extra layers here from reinforcements. It did not work out too well. And Zero is sharing a defense as well, and this is a rally against Zero, and it was even actually, look at that, like just one standard march in here from one player makes a huge difference. Only lost 440 million power, and the rally itself was 730 million power, so it was definitely a positive gain for Zero. Zero would have gotten a lot of the points of that because there's just one reinforcing march, and that's pretty great for having only one reinforcing march. I mean, a couple more would have been even better, but I mean I think I would take that. I would be happy with that. And it looks like that was a siege poke too. So the reinforcing not so important, but he just did really well in defending that. A rally over here on this person who apparently is going back to bed with 9.8 billion power left. Maybe he's just gonna stay there and go back to bed, and whatever points that player gets is what they get. Pentangle over here setting up a rally, and the target is the person who's going back to bed at 9.4 billion and down to, wow, 8.1 billion. That was a nice hit. That was a very nice hit. I don't see any green lines coming out of that player, so there probably were not any reinforcements at all. And that turned out awesome for the Lion team. Not so great for that player, though. Looks like a little solo attack, and that was decent. That was pretty good. Even with some reinforcements, was able to take more power and ended up net positive here. Yeah, they're just doing siege. All we're seeing is siege, siege, siege. We're down to 30 minutes left. I think it'll start to change up soon, and we have seen a couple archer rallies and so on, but the majority of everything we're seeing tonight is siege. All right, let's take a look at the score. We have Queen Raven. Does this person just keep changing their name like every 5 minutes? Queen Raven over here at 8.6. I think that was Ethereum. Aries over here, very close, catching up, 8.4. And we have Golden M, that's not that far behind. I'm going to scroll down for the top 20 or so, just so we can take a quick look. Huge lead for Lion Team. We don't really care about that so much anymore. We do care about the player scores, though. And there's a huge difference between 20th place and first place right now. That's a lot of points to recover and to catch up if you're trying to get into the top 5. A lot of lines coming to Styles. Something is happening. Where is it going? It is going over here on, is it Toot? It's Fake Toot, who's at 2.3. And now down to 2. Wow. That was a very successful defense. That did not go as expected. 2.2, and let's take a look. I think I just saw another attack go through. And 2.2 down to 1.1. Okay. So sometimes that's just what happens. Sometimes you know you're going to have a really, really bad rally. But the point of it isn't necessarily to get the points in that rally. It's to finish off the troops that you need to get out of the way so that your next rally will be a huge gain. And that's really what happened here. There was only like 200 million power loss in that first one. Oh, look. That was a very smart move, Retsam. So that person ported away after getting rallied a few times, and they're trying to send some solos to finish that player off. So Retsam ported in and was able to take a solo attack and able to eat some points there. Where's that Fake Toot gone? I did not see a fire, but I feel like there should have been. What's the score? You're down to 1 billion, so that's pretty close. They were trying to finish off Fake Toot with the solo attacks, but not quite zeroed yet. So what I was saying is sometimes you do that 200 million rally that you know you're going to lose, but the point of it is to get rid of the certain troops that are going to prevent you from just rolling through and decimating a player, and that's exactly what they did. They ate a bad rally just to get a really good one after it. Let's see if there's any reports for that. Doesn't look like there are any reports. No, unfortunately. I would really love to see those. Back to Bed is down to 7.2 billion. That one doesn't seem like as big a hit as the one that we saw earlier, where that player dropped over 1 or 1.5, I don't know, some huge amount in one attack. That one didn't seem to do quite as much damage. We're going to have to keep an eye on Fake Toot. Oh, Fake Toot changed their name to Pitchfork. That's who it is. I was wondering who Fake Toot was. It's Pitchfork. And Pitchfork is now in what place? 3rd place. Interesting. Was able to climb all the way there. But it doesn't look like this player is healing at the moment. And this would be the time to heal. You'd want to heal if you're going to, because when you're already down to like 1 billion, 2 billion, a lot of your important troops, all your layers are decimated, and if you don't replenish those, then that's what happens. You have those rallies that go on you. You lose 1 billion at a time, and boom, you're done. But I'm guessing at this point, Pitchfork is not planning to heal, because he would have done so at this point if so. Sean Teddy was just rallied down to 4.2 billion. I don't think Sean Teddy had a very high score, but is now up to 12th place with 5.2. So that's good for Sean Teddy. KJ shared an attack, and that was the one on Sean Teddy that we just saw. It was only 440 million power loss, so not that bad as a defense. And look at all the reinforcements. Huge amount of reinforcements, and that's why it didn't go too poorly. Even though it looks like they were doing, what are they trying to do? They're trying to do a range poke here. But because of all those layers, they were really able to prevent a lot of losses. I'm guessing that that KJKC and them, I'm not sure if they would have let it ride if they knew that there was 12.5 million reinforcements. Some lines coming into Sigu. I don't know if they are reinforcements. I don't see any rallies being set up, so I'm not really sure what's happening here. Oh, they're launching an attack on Subhuman. Subhuman is at 4.7, and we'll check after how much damage was done. 4.2, so 500 million power loss. That was okay. Doesn't even look like it was a complete rally, unless some of these are, some of them are potentially senior marches at this point. Taking a quick look at chat. Yeah, we're down to 23 minutes. And really all we've been seeing is siege rally, siege rally, siege rally. Hasn't been a lot of variety. A couple archers. Oh, another attack on this player. This player's they were just at 7.4. So they dropped quite a bit in the last little bit. Let's see. Back to bed, down up to 4th place. Getting some attention there. Some interesting comments over here. They should turn off the ability to do solo attacks in All-Stars. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that would be a great change. Solo attacks are one of the huge problems for point trading. Just eliminating the possibility to do solo attacks, meaning you have to rally every single time, well, that's going to cut a lot of the point trading down. Okay, ranged troops. There's a ranged troop attack, and this player was pretty evenly buffed all the way across. That was the one against Subhuman, so that turned out okay. That was just this player's power loss, so they didn't lose too many troops, but they did lose the Alliance War. So in the end, it would be, I don't know, 700 million or somewhere around there. So a little bit of a loss probably, but that did turn out okay. They did what they came for. A lot of lines coming away from back to bed. No, it's Crazy Bureau. No, that's his own lines. Reinforcements, it looks like. Back to bed again attacked. Down to 3.7. They're just going to finish this player off. Up to 1st place. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. If you can get all that attention, if they just keep hitting you again, and that's what I was talking about at the beginning. If you're able to get rallied consistently, even if you don't heal, if you're a big player, you're going to get a lot of points. And if you're a smaller player or you're a big player and you're healing, then you can just earn quite a few points and climb your way to the top. Still 3.7 billion. But keep in mind that even though this player's at 3.7 billion, a lot of that is probably lower layers at this point. T11 and down, a lot of the T13, T14 is probably decimated, which means that when they do other rallies, he's going to be taking like 1 billion, 2 billion at a time. It's going to be big from this point down. You're going to see 3.7 billion turn to a couple 100 million very quickly. See if we can find a few more battle reports here. We have Eye Candy sharing an alliance war against Bucko. A lot of reinforcements, but still they did a pretty great job at taking still 600 million power. It was ranged, and so they saw a weakness there with the cavalry. They probably worked that person's range down quite a bit, their siege, and they were able to come right in and take those cavalry. This player was just attacked, and another one over here. KJ Casey looks like KJ Casey took a rally as well. All right, Styles is setting something up. Ooh, Pentangle was rallied. And it looks like this player is being rallied again. 6.2 down to... I don't know if you guys saw that, but this is what I was talking about before. And somebody was saying, well, what's the point of sending back the reinforcements? They don't get that many points. Well, you just saw it happen. You just saw that this player decided to return all the reinforcements right before the rally landed so that none of this player's teammates were able to score any points whatsoever. And then the rally landed. And consequently, they lost about 1 billion power in doing so. KJKC being attacked, 4.6. Down to 4.2. That turned out okay. See if we can see any reports here. There's nothing new. Yeah, we're down to 17 minutes, 18 minutes left. Now the action is really starting. Now we have some rallies happening. People are getting down to the wire here, and they're trying to get as many points as they can, trying to finish people off. We haven't seen anyone zeroed at all, and there's only 17 minutes left. But here we go. Now things are starting to pick up. This player is down to 4.6. I think they probably healed a little bit before that happened. Oh, here we go. Segu has just been zeroed. So that means that I need to actually type it. The roof is on fire. And what that means, if you're just joining now, is the first 15 people to message their player IDs are going to get put in for the streamer gift. If you already got it, then don't bother. You can only get it once. But that's once per account, so if you have an alliance member, family, friends, or whatever that play, and you wanted to get them the gift, then you are more than welcome to put somebody else's player ID. It's just the first 15 that have not already received the gift. Our rally over here on Pyro's Sheep, down to 3 billion. So our first zero was at 17 minutes left in the game. Wow, that's been a really slow match so far. All the preliminaries and everything, at the 30 minutes left, we were over the 200,000 points. And here, Mask is now zeroed. The roof is on fire. I should copy paste that. Why didn't I copy paste that? It has to be after the text. There we go. Roof is on fire. There, now I've copy pasted. I don't know why I didn't. I had the Facebook thing copy pasted. 2 zeros. Some lines coming into Captain Conrad. It looks like Captain Conrad might be hit. And down to 170 million power. He teleported away, but I'm pretty sure that Captain Conrad is zeroed somewhere. I gotta find him. Where'd Captain Conrad go? 170 million power. That's a zero. Definitely teleported away before we could see that, but that is zeroed. So I'm going to have to say Captain Conrad as well is burning somewhere. The roof is on fire for Captain Conrad. Might have been earlier that we just missed, but I think it was right there. And who is this? Mask. We already saw Mask. A lot of lines happening now. MUC has just been rallied. Defense on KJKC that we saw earlier. I'm going to just take quick look at this. Okay, and let's go back because a lot is happening right now. Finally, what we came to see, a lot of attacks, a lot of rallies. Everybody's getting into this. 15 minutes left on the clock. Here we go. It's over here on Pyro, it looks like. 5.6 billion. and Trentos was also rallied. Pyro goes down to 4.9, and Trentos is sitting at 2.7, getting close. Some solo attacks over here. Never Been, Crazy Bure. Okay, I'll take a very quick look at the score in a second. Looks like solo attacks again. Golden and Love Letter. I feel like I saw them earlier in the match just soloing at each other. And that's a little suspicious, but I don't know. I wasn't paying too close attention there. A lot of lines coming out of Crazy Bureau. Looks like Crazy Bureau is just sitting there, sending the reinforcements back. Yeah, same thing that other player did. Crazy Bureau did not want to have any reinforcements, didn't want to give any points to any teammates, and is just sending back all their reinforcements immediately as they arrive and taking the hit. All right, I'll take a quick look at the score. There's a lot of action, so I'm going to try to be real quick. I'm going to show the top 25, though. Aries is pulled into the lead. We have a lot of players over here at 10,000 now. It is finally going up and up and up, but it drops off pretty quickly here. $12 left. Some lines coming into Pentangle. I don't know if that's a rally. Not really sure if those are reinforcements. It's a little too slow to be a rally. But something did happen over here on Miss Phoenix, who's down to 1.6. Danger zone. This player is in danger if they don't heal. We have MUC over here coming to the back, trying to hit multiple different targets with solo attacks, and it looks like a lot of attacks going into MUC as well. It was really intense for a little bit with rallies. It looks like they have died down. I wonder if a lot of these players are switching to trying to get individual points through solos. There was a rally over here on Huntress that I just missed. Huntress down to 2 billion. And Aries hitting MUC again. Some attacks over here on Retsam. Retsam also... I don't know what's happening here. Yeah, it looks like some solo attacks on Retsam. And then meanwhile we have Mr. F and Love Letter. A lot of little solo pokes going around, people trying to get some last minute points. Solo attacks, I mean, there's a fine line between hitting someone for trying to get points with solo attacks and then hitting the same player repeatedly, and then they're hitting you back. So hopefully these are all legit, but it's really hard to track everything. I mean, you see things like this, people moving over to the side, and that's a little more suspicious because that's like you're off on your own intentionally with somebody else, like here and here. Whereas if it's happening in kind of the middle of the pod, then anybody can be doing anything, and it's not necessarily that suspicious. But I don't know. I think a lot of people have some frustrations on some of the point gain of certain players, and I think at this point there's only 10 minutes left. People are doing whatever they can. A lot of lines coming into Crazy Buer, and a lot of lines going out, getting returned. Hitting that return button on all the reinforcements so that they're getting their own points and nobody else is getting any points on that team. 3.4 billion power remaining for that player. I don't see any more fires. We're down to 9 minutes, just under 9 minutes. Quick look at the score. Just going to look at the top 10 quickly because there is a lot happening. This player is almost finished off, down to 1.2 billion after many solo attacks into Half-Ton Dad. Crazy Buer over here, who was pretty low. I think a couple billion as well. Oh, maybe not. Took a rally again, sent reinforcements away. King Darius doing this, not doing the same thing. Just took a rally. King Darius is down to 5.5 billion. A rally over here on Huntress. Finally, things are going. Huntress down to 1.8. 7 minutes remaining. We're going to see a couple more fires, but still a lot of fight left in a lot of these players. We're getting down to 6 minutes now. Half-Ton Dad was at 1.2, still there. Okay, a rally over here on Crazy Buer, who was at, I want to say 3.3, 3.4, and is down to 3.2. Wow, they're just feeding points over here to Crazy Buer. Some solo attacks over here on Pentangle. And this player who obviously is not enjoying All-Stars right now. Lynn. They're kind of going everywhere. Lions all over the place. Half-Ton Dad again down to 951 million. Yeah, I sense hostility as well. Some people are not happy with the way things turned out. Ares setting up a rally. And the recipient is Never Been, who is at 1.7 and I think might be finished off right here. No. 1.7 down to 1.4. That was not a successful rally. That was a good defense. A lot of players might be pretty low. Okay, here we have Queen Raven, who is now burning. The roof is on fire. A little over 4 minutes left. Some people can still get finished off. A rally over here on MUC. MUC is down to 2.6 billion. I feel like we're going to see another fire anytime. Some people are really low on troops, and one of the things that happens is when you start doing all these solo attacks, your own troops start to dwindle very, very quickly. You work yourself down, and then some of these people are just going to be finished off by other players in the next minute or so. We have 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. A lot of people getting very low. Quick look at the score. Top 10. Three minutes. Yep, it is a high period of activity. Here we go. Half-Ton Dad is finally zeroed. I don't know who finished him off, but Half-Ton Dad is burning. The roof is on fire for Half-Ton Dad. Two minutes and 30 seconds left. A lot of attacks flying in every direction. 2 minutes remaining. Oh, here we go. A rally over here on Sav. Sav's down to 2.5 billion. It's rare to see rallies at this point. Just a lot of solos flying in every direction. Crazy Bureau probably getting close. Nope, 3 billion. Just over a minute remaining. A few lines coming over here to Aries, who is down to 3.3. Not in danger of being finished off, but hopefully solidifying his win. He was in first, and I think it's only going to continue there if these points still keep racking up. He's at, yeah, he's going to be first. With 45 seconds left, not a lot will be happening. Mad over here is finally burning. And the roof is on fire. Possibly the last one we're going to see. Not really sure. We got 30 seconds left. After this, I will go through slowly the list of everybody in here and see what their points were. So you can kind of see where your favorite players finished. Jinster over here is now burning too. I'll say the roof is on fire for Jinster. And we have 8 seconds left. 5 seconds left. No more fires. It is over. And these are the final scores. So if you also did not vote for your favorite streamer on the Evony Facebook page, take a screenshot now. Make sure you can go over there and get that so you can get your 900 free gems from there. Follow the instructions right above me. You go to facebook.com, where just log into your Facebook, go to Evony the King's Return. And in the comment, I think it'd be their first post there, put your streamer's name. So if it's me, put Miser, then put your player ID so that you actually get your reward, and put a screenshot of this room. So you just take a screenshot of that however you want. Okay, scrolling down, looks like Aries in first. Give it to Bama in second. I don't think that's the original name. Queen Raven, and we have MUC and 59. I'm just going to scroll down. You can check out the scores of your players. I'll try to keep, actually, let me start it again so I can keep track of where the places is. This is first place. This is 5th place right here, 59. 10th place, Bucko. 15th place, Pitchfork. 20th. 25th. And then I'll keep going down so you can see the rest of the scores as well. All right, I'm going to leave Battlefield here. I'll say thank you to everybody for joining me. And I hope you had a chance to vote and that you had a chance to get the streamer package as well. And it is already pretty late, so I'm going to go to sleep. But I'll stick around for a few minutes for some of the people that maybe had some questions or just wanted to chat for a few minutes. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so if you would like to get other videos. I have lots of stuff, not just live streams, so make sure you check it out. Other than that, that's about it. This is the end of the All-Stars. You saw the points, and I guess we'll see another one when the 5th one rolls out. I hope, personally, I hope that there are some changes to the ranking system and the way that points are earned, but you can only hope. We'll see what happens in the future. Okay, once again, thank you for joining me, and make sure to check out my channel if you have not already done so. Alright, guys. I'm going to stick around in chat, but I'm going to stop the video and stream and stuff.